Hi, I'm Kathy Rentz, a professor at the University of Cincinnati and co-author of Business Communication, a Problem-Solving Approach. In this video, I'll explain what a problem-solving approach is, why it's more important for BCom than ever, and how we reinforce this approach. What my co-author, Paula, Lentz, and I noticed after many years of teaching is that students often have misconceptions about business communication. Do yours? In general, we've found that they expect it to be much more of a rule-bound, formula-following activity than it really is. In other words, they expect it to be more like solving well-defined problems than solving ill-defined problems. Well-defined problems are problems you can find the answer to by following a set procedure. Putting a letter into correct full block format is solving a well-defined problem, as is following any set rules or formulas. But for ill-defined problems, whose factors are unmeasurable and maybe unknown, you have to create a solution, and your solution won't have a 100% chance of being successful. Any communication task that involves more than just transferring information will be an ill-defined problem, because people are involved and people are unpredictable. It's critical for students to understand this fact because otherwise they'll underestimate the thinking they'll need to do to prepare successful communications, and they won't be the kind of resourceful, adaptive problem solvers that today's workplace requires. So, if your students can't use formulas to solve business communication problems, what tools can they use? As we discuss in Chapter 1, Communicating in the Workplace, they can tap a lot of different resources. One is experiential knowledge or problems they've seen before. Perhaps a version of what worked well in a previous situation will work in new ones. Similarly, they can follow advice and general patterns developed by people who've already gotten good at solving business communication problems. They don't have to start from square one. That's why having comprehensive, helpful instructional materials is important. They can also use their powers of observation, research skills, and critical thinking to understand the problem and fill in the missing pieces. And then they can draw on their creativity to generate possible solutions and use their judgment to choose the most promising one. Finally, they can use their verbal ability, visual design skills, and other relevant abilities to create their communication solution. Our communication model, presented in the first chapter, integrates the problem-solving approach, as you can see in the steps that the communicators follow. It also incorporates the many contextual factors that the communicators need to think about as they plan what to say. To think through the problem-solving process, students can use this planning checklist. The first step is to figure out what's going on and what, if anything, you should do about it. This step involves gathering information and setting communication goals. Then comes careful thinking about your recipients and possible options for achieving your goals with them. After evaluating the possibilities, you can make some key decisions about what you will do and say. And then get busy on drafting the communication. You may need to go back to the earlier steps as you're building your communication solution, since this step often makes you realize you overlooked something in an earlier step. And then finally, you deliver your solution, accompanied by any other action you think might be needed. The chapters end with dozens of scenario-based cases like this one that you can use to help your students practice effective communication problem solving. In this case, the student is being asked to play the role of an assistant manager at a hotel who will be granting a customer's request and doing a bit of upselling in the process. As you can see, the case gives the key details and some tips, but it also leaves the student plenty of room to analyze the situation more deeply and make communication decisions. The cases vary in complexity, so you can choose the ones that best suit your teaching goals, but all of them situate students in realistic, contemporary workplace scenarios. Approaching business communication as problem solving will get your students thinking about BCom in the right way. It can take them a while to wrap their minds around the fact that their goal for each communication task is an educated, well-executed guess, and that while different solutions can be good, some solutions are definitely weaker than others. But with guidance, they come to like this approach. It's challenging, it's fun, and most importantly, it's realistic. Helping your students bring communication skills, critical thinking, and visual rhetoric together will help them become the problem solvers that today's employers seek. You can find out more about these three components of effective communication problem solving by watching our videos on these topics. And to see communication problem solving in action, watch The Case of the Missing Beach. As always, if you want to learn more, visit our website via the link shown on your screen.